and you know this, to sit you guys down and try and get you guys all on a show together, or try and get everybody to collaborate so we can get through it. But I think there is some things and some stories that we really do need to talk about, because they were the creation and the foundation of the unity. And one thing that I think that people don't even understand is that this scene was there before us. It was there before me. It was there before you. And so when people act like, you know, when we were talking about the whole pigeonhole thing and the whole box, it's like, listen, we grew up, we came into this arena because we were influenced by certain people. You know, I know for me, it was the New York freestyle era, and it was Kid Frost, and it was Mellow Man Ace. I mean, I'd go to Magic Mountain and I'd see Kid Frost do his thing and bring up Baby Scoop, and I was like, this is ridiculous, you know. And I went from my whole DJ Quick, Sugar Free, you know, to like, okay, how do I talk like this? And Cypress Hill coming in, and you know, being influenced by that. I'm like, okay, we need more voices like this. What were your artists that you would say influenced you to rap? Because I know there was some stuff before.
Well, I think the one that had the most influence was my boy Night Out, rest in peace, from my neighborhood. Because I would hear him do the neighborhood raps from my neighborhood, and I just was intrigued when I would see him do them, and mentioning names from the neighborhood and mentioning, you know, just the hood in general. To me, that was cool, you know, because then he'd be bumping, and I was like, oh, that's what he just recorded. I didn't take my ringer off.
That's okay. Who's calling us?
Oh, no, it's okay.
Okay.
If it was my wife, I would have answered it.
Yeah.
Nah, but he was the one that when I was a little kid, and I would hear that, I would be intrigued by him.
Can you remember the first Night Owl song you heard that you were like?
It was a neighborhood rap. It was actually a Woptown rap.
That was dope.
It wasn't. But then afterwards, I heard the whole Mary Wells song and the Brown to the Bone and all those other ones. You know what I mean? Before they came out. But
Little One introduced me a couple weeks ago to the big homie who wrote his first rhyme for him, and that put him on.
Sherman?
Yeah. Which was dope. Which was like, you know, and what I love to see is how viral that went. Like, that people really cared, that people like really loved the fact that he gave props to the big homie from the hood.
He was doing that when he was a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How old were you when you, and then what was the first, like, what was that first rap? What was the first, like?
So, well, back to the people that influenced me.
Okay, yes, we didn't get through that
So
part.
besides Night Owl, rest in peace, it was crazy because it was from the Beastie Boys to the Fat Boys to Kumo D to you know, a bunch of East Coast rappers, and of course the NWAs and everything else, you know what I mean? But I would listen to a bunch of different types of rap, you know, and it's crazy because now I don't listen to rap, you know what I mean? But
what are you listening to these days?
I listen to worship music. I listen to reggae, Mexican music.
So are we going to catch you doing some worship music?
You never know.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Know, whatever God puts it in my path, and you know, I definitely want to do something big for His kingdom. So,
I mean, but realistically, and what people like, even when I get criticism for the type of music I represent, like realistically, a lot of it is worship music. It's telling a story, and yes, some of it isn't directing to a positive part, but some of it is telling the story and teaching lessons. And it's like,
right,
that, you know, that's the word. Like, that's what I've always loved, is when people can honestly tell their stories to grow. And that's, you know, being out here again with you guys and having like you and Little One, everybody out here mentoring. I wish Slow Pain was here, because he would have made,
man, he was a great dude,
such a difference with, you know, these youngsters and what they're going through. But
yeah,
I just love to have you guys out here to kind of help them skip that step that you guys all went through, and that, you know, we all went through, and that struggle part. And then also really, especially in the time we're at, to really unify and keep the movement going forward, and not pull each other down.
Right. Yeah. You know, and it's just hard to watch. You know, a lot of these cats have talent, but a lot of them don't. You know, and they're getting a free ride just because they go viral over some I don't even know.
But
what
hasn't it always been that way, Shadow? You know, people like you think about like there's always an artist that people will be like, well, they can't rap, but they'll blow up, they'll do their thing, and I think that a lot of that is based on telling their story or being authentically them. Like, does it really? Yes, like I said, you Rowdy, you obviously see where you see my big L plaque over there. You know where my standards are on flow. Like, I love a good MC, but at the same time, I can accept somebody who's just telling their story in their way. Like, I'll take criticism
I guess from an artist point of view,
from an MC point of view. Let's talk about because you're a savage MC. So how does it make you feel?
And and people always get mad when I say this, but I don't get tired of saying it because it's 1,000% the truth. You have rappers, you have artists, you have producers, you have beat makers. Big difference. If music producers make something incredible from scratch using instruments and the engineering part and everything, now you have people that cut and paste, sample, and I mean, it's weird, and rappers, there's rappers and there's artists. An artist travels the world, have people around the world singing their songs in different languages that can't even speak English or Spanish. For example, when I go to Japan and people are singing my songs word for word in English and Spanish, that's crazy. Music has no barriers, and I understand that too, because and I always say this, that I listen to reggae and there's a song by Alpha Blondie, it's called Jerusalem, and he sings it in Hebrew, and I sing it word for word. I don't know what I'm saying, but I feel it so much that I sing it word for word. So,
you feel it.
Yeah. So I appreciate talent, and one of my pet peeves is wasted talent. There's so many people out there don't get the shine that they deserve. You know what I mean? And then there's people that have no talent and are like blowing up, like super famous. And I mean that's the times we're living in, I guess. You know what I mean? Like before, we would have to put footwork to get our stuff around the world.
Oh, I mean, we had to go hand in fist with the flyers. I mean, it was like
posters and blasting the walls.
But that's the beauty now is that you can be an artist. The only one holding you back is you at this point.
Right. So now you click a button and it's around the world.
You have it all right here, here.
Yeah, and it's cool, and it's bittersweet. I mean, at least for me, it is, because okay, cool, it made my job easier. But at the same time, it's like, some of these new cats ain't gonna know what it is to put in footwork.
Yeah.
To the struggles you're mentioning, like driving town to town
and I noticed a lot of the artists will crash out a lot quicker because it didn't take as much to get there.
Right.
So they don't cherish it as much. It comes and go. Before, you used to think the one hit wonder and it comes and goes, but now I think it comes and goes even quicker than it did before.
It's like, 30 years in the game is still relevant.
That's crazy to think. What your kid like when I talk to Ocho and like he trips off. It's funny because like I'll tell him to pull up some of you guys. I'm like, well, look at this. Like I'll go back and forth and bang with him on different artists. I'm like, yeah, check this artist out. And I'll make him go back and discover like some of our OGs. And it's like, what the fuck? That's always what he says. What? Like these catalogs still go. Your catalogs still go. But unfortunately, none of you guys are really seeing anything for your catalogs.
We're actually, and shout out to my manager, because he's him and the girls behind the scene, Carla from Monarch and Kathy, my publicist. They're doing everything to get everything right. And shout out to my boy Floss. He's a big part of getting everything allocated to me, from YouTube royalties to my publishing, which a lot of people were taking advantage of, because back then I didn't know nothing about my publishing. Right. I didn't know that was a whole separate check, and so we're going after all those people that have been living off my music, because there's a lot of them, 25 albums. This is my 26th. So.
Wow.
So 30 years in the game, and I know it's a young man's game, but it's still a grown man's business.
But it really isn't anymore. At first when I was coming back, like I felt like it's like a sport. Like, okay, you're an athlete, you're gonna just have to be a coach at a certain point, if you want to still be in the game. But some of our OGs are coming hard, like, and the respect that you guys get and the respect I see you guys get It's not a young man's sport. It's a heritage form of music now. You guys have every avenue and every door and the respect of the youngsters.
Yeah, yeah. People that have legacies and been putting in work. I mean, I was dormant for a long time. You know what I mean? Because of illnesses and my children. I had to take a long break. I had to be a single dad for a long time, and then after that, I had a stroke. So I was out the game for a while. Like from 03, 04 all the way to like,
And I know we talked about this, but for people who don't know, you've had 2 strokes that you had to overcome and fight your way through, and then you have a condition that basically there's a surgery they can do, but you don't know that you'll come out alive from that.
No, so there's 2 options. I mean, well, same surgery and 2 things that could happen. I can bleed out on the table and die, or I could end up a vegetable from the neck down. So my third option was just praying that God wakes me up every day. So I took the third option.
And a real tough relationship with God, and a real hard relationship with God.
Yeah, and he's amazing. He's look at all these doors he's opening for me and all these connections he's making. Like, it took me 30 years. It's all on his timing. So 30 years later, here I am with one of the biggest stars in the world, my Big Bro Cocaine, production from Dr. Evil and Nocturne. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. I mean,
you forgot about Ice Cube. And the song's out today.
Yeah, Cube. I mean, everybody.
Yeah,
knows
this guy named Ice Cube.
That's what I meant about the biggest.
Yeah, no, I know.
But yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Cocaine was the biggest star in the world, and I was like, yeah,
he's the most featured artist in the world.
He is, right?
He is.
Wow.
It's funny. There's a write-up. You can look it up online. I'm the most featured West Coast Mexican.
You are?
Yeah.
Dang. Google that, fools. Ask your homie Chat GPT, fools.
Yeah.
Or your homie Gork. Ask whoever you want, big dog. Okay.
So
Can we talk about the first rappers like you were in the studio with, working with? Like, who was it that you were
they
first?
had a name?
Yeah, who were, no, just in your hood. Yeah, like.
Well, in the beginning of my career, it wasn't many. It was, Night Owl, of course. Little One, my bro, Little One. We have.
What was the first song with you and Night Owl? Do you remember?
It was.
That's a tough question, huh?
It is. I don't remember if it was.
What's your favorite song with you and Night Owl?
Well, I hate to say it, but it's a song called Highway 666. It's me, him, and Little One. It's one of those.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that was.
Do you ever listen back to some of that now because your relationship with God? Like, are you ever ashamed of some of the music you did?
A bit, but I mean, it's I always say no regrets. It's all experiences. You know what I mean? Learning lessons and
You shouldn't be. It's all part of your story, and it's all part of the growth and to show people. But I was just curious. Like, I think about you and Little with that now, like, and with how deep your relationship, and especially Little with his. I mean, he was Mr. 666. Like,
So I mean, I brought a few rappers like Young Sick from San Diego, super dope artist. Shout out to my boy. The homie Joseph Lucero. He was on my album. He's now an actor. And who else? It was just local people like Little Rob, Little One, and Night Owl. That's pretty much the people that I started out with and featuring on my records. And then from there I moved on. I think my first big feature was with Corrupt and my boy Don Cisco on that Another Cali Weekend.
Yeah.
And then after that, Roscoe and Sugar Free and Cocaine and the list started to get bigger and bigger, you know what I mean, as people started hearing my stuff and they were like, oh, you don't even sound like an essay. And I'm like,
yeah, I remember they used to always say that.
So, and it's crazy because I never said the N-word, and the way I talk is the way I rap, so
I'm gonna make you dig. What's your craziest Night Owl story?
Funny one or dangerous one?
Both.
Give me one. From the same neighborhood.
Give me one dangerous one and one funny one because I want to keep Night Owl alive.
So, okay, a funny one. We were at Johnny J's house, rest in peace, in Palmdale.
For the not knowers, Johnny J did a lot of Pac stuff.
He did All Eyes on Me. I mean, Shorty Wanna Be a Thug.
Icon.
Yeah, you know, shout out to him. Shout out to his wife Capuchin and his son Jeremiah. So we went to, because him and Nida were good friends, and then I got introduced to Johnny, and we would go to his house a lot. And one day we got invited to a Halloween party at Johnny J's house, and I mean, Sir Jinx. I mean, a bunch of famous people. Oh, that's
my baby.
A bunch of famous people showed up, and I met a lot of people. I was like 13 years old, you know. So me and Nida were over there. We spent the night, and we went back, got stupid drunk. Both of us got dumbass drunk. Nida was so drunk he couldn't drive back home, but he had to drive back home because he had to go to work at 6 a.m. And there was nobody else with us, and I had never driven a car as big as he had. It was like a 78 Thunderbird, a big old car.
It was dope. The Thunderbirds were ill.
Yeah, big old square. You know what I mean? So he said, "Hey, dog, you're going to have to drive me home." I was like, "What?" Never got on the freeway. So we get on the freeway, and I'm driving, and I had to put a pillow because I couldn't reach over the steering wheel. You know what I mean? So here we go. We're on the freeway, and he said, "Just keep it steady. Just keep it steady, bro." All right, cool. So I'm driving, and I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? But make a long story short, we're somewhere down the 5 heading south from Palmdale. In L.A., it was about 2 or 3 in the morning. I was falling asleep. You know, I opened the windows, and I was rubbing my eyes, and, you know, and I was still buzzed. And then somewhere along the line, I fell asleep.
Oh, stop.
And there was a Greyhound bus next to us. And I guess I swiped it. I sideswiped it. The bus was like almost crashing, and I was like, oh, I turned the steering wheel, and Nida woke up. He's like, "What happened, fool?" I was like, "Oh, nothing, dog. I was swerving a little bit." He went back to sleep. He was so drunk, he just went back to sleep. We got home. So it happened on the right side. So when we got to my mom's house, I said, "Here, bro, just slide over." He had a bench seat. I said, "Slide over, dog. That way you don't have to get out the car." And so I went around the car, and he slid over. He's, "All right, fool. I'll call you when I get home to make sure, you know what I mean, just to make sure that I get home." I said, "Cool." So he calls me. He goes to sleep. And then the next morning, after he gets out of work, he calls me and he says, "Hey, doc, cruise to the pad," because I would always go to his house just to chill and whatever. So I go to his pad, and I look at the car, and the whole side had a big old black tire streak on it. The metal that goes around the wheel well was like hanging, like sticking out, and the door was like bent. And I pull up, and I'm like, "Damn, dog, what happened to your car?" And I was gonna ask you the same thing, dog. What happened? I was like, "I don't know, dog. I don't know what happened to your car." And he's like, "That's crazy, fool, because I went to work, and when I got out at work, I looked at it, and I was like, damn, did I crash into something?" And I was like, "I don't know, bro." And then finally he put 2 and 2 together, and he's like, "You little fucker, you crashed my car, huh?" I was like, "Nah, dog." So finally, after like an hour of going back and forth, I was like, "All right, fool." I fell asleep, and I sideswiped a Greyhound. He was like, he was laughing so hard. He was like, "You little motherfucker, bro." I was like, "Sorry, dog."
I could like hear Night Owl's laugh.
Yeah, like laughing, like crazy, hysterical laughing, because he told me, he goes, "I don't know if I should beat your ass or just laugh it off." And he was just laughing, and then he got it fixed. And
knowing who Night Owl was and just as hood as he was that a trip to you? Like when Daddy I'm in Love with a Gangster jumped off like it did?
Yeah. You know what? It was dope though. Just like there's another song that he did with Cosme. Shout out to my bro Cosme. He did I forgot what it's called, but he's like sitting alone at the dock of the bay. He's like flipping. That song is crazy. When I heard those 2 songs come out, it was like, wow, this was gonna blow up, you know?
Yeah.
Because he was stepping out of his comfort zone. Yeah. Because he's always the hardest gangster.
I mean, even on Daddy I'm in Love with a Gangster, I mean, he says, "I'll put a hole inside your brain." You know, it's a love song, and it like I would always laugh. I'm like, I'm really taking him to radio right now with this love song that says, "I'll put a hole inside your brain," and it went. And shouts out to Texas, because it wasn't even Cali that supported that record first. It was J.D. Gonzalez in Texas, and you know your boy Night Owl wouldn't fly.
No, he would drive everywhere. everywhere, and it was annoying.
Yes, and then when that song came out, in order to get him to go to radio, I would have to drive him everywhere. I had never taken days off of my Power 106 shift, but to take him to all the stations through Texas, we drove through Texas and Albuquerque. And
I was in some of those drives to Texas and and Idaho and Oregon. I mean, everywhere. And we would have to drive because
those shows were off the hook that we didn't know. What did you think when we first met?
South Pedro Beach.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Dang. And then the unity, and that's what these young fools need to hold on to. The unity between you guys in Texas did so much damage for your careers and created so much legacy, and cats need to realize that.
You have a
Oh,
question.
come ask the question. Can we turn this mic on for Madi so she can get involved a little bit with some of the questions going on in the chat, because I'm not good at the chat.
Questions in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. Is she on? Let me hear. Go ahead, babe.
Am I on? All right, cool. So we have
Is Madi on? Talk a little more into the mic.
you what? Okay, what's Mr. Shadow's advice for new lyricists that are starting?
I always say the same thing. You got to be authentic. Got to be original. Don't follow any waves. Create your own path. Stay in your own lane. Don't try to do what the next man is doing. That's creativity, I think, is what stands out. You just got to be authentic, man. Don't like I said, don't try to be like somebody you watched on TikTok or on Instagram or on YouTube. Just be yourself. Write your own stuff. And if you're serious about it, make sure your publishing is in order.
Explain what publishing is.
Publishing is your paycheck, your forever money that after you're gone, your kids are going to get, your family's going to get,
it's your split of a certain song. So
right,
as a writer, you understand that.
As a writer, as a composer,
if you don't understand it, ask Chat. Chat will tell you. Gork will tell you.
Right. And there's ASCAP, there's BMI, and there's other entities that you can sign up, with to collect your royalties. I personally use ASCAP. I've been with them since like 99 or 01. But get your publishing in order and make sure that you don't sell your masters. Keep your masters. And
how do you feel about that now? All these people selling their masters for these huge bags. Like, there's all these banks coming in and buying people's masters.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you're Justin Bieber or The Weeknd,
No, but even some of these younger cats.
So these younger cats
have gotten, a $1.5 million or a couple mil for their.
But the crazy part is that that's just a quick bag, today bag. It's not a tomorrow bag. Because if you blow that 1.1 million, you got to record another record and do the same thing. Like, why don't you just?
And understand somebody's buying it from you for a reason.
Because they see
patient with you.
They see the bag after that bag.
Yeah.
And they're gonna keep getting that bag because now they own it forever.
Yeah.
So they can, if they get it in movies, if they get it in video games and commercials, and there's so many different
TikTok, all your songs that have been going crazy for you guys on TikTok that you guys don't
and that's the
benefit off
and
of.
all those things that we're fixing is all that is part of that,
right.
What I mean? Because I'm getting all that and YouTube and everything else that has monetizing that I haven't been getting. That's what they're fixing. But yeah, if you're a new and up and comer,
learn the game.
Learn the game. Be authentic, and
and ask questions just like you're doing now. Who was that from again?
From Arad.
Thank you.
Arad the God.
Thank you.
Question.
Oh,
okay.
A-Rod, yeah.
A-Rod the God.
Yeah.
You know?
No. I saw it on the feed. But yeah, just learn the game and make tomorrow money. Yeah.
What songs do you listen to when you're thinking of new raps? Do you listen to new songs?
Honestly, like I said, I don't listen to rap, as weird and whatever it may sound. I don't listen to rap music, but I do listen to reggae. I do listen to gospel music, worship music.
Who's your favorite worship group?
Elevation Worship. Yeah, they're dope. And there's Spanish ones too that I listen to. But when I sit down to write, I don't listen to anything. I just listen to the beat over and over, and try to catch that melody and see what I see the vision of the song that I'm feeling, and just speak truth. You know, I don't like when people rap about a movie they saw or something that they saw that they didn't do. You know, everything I say is because something I've done, I'm doing, or I'm gonna do. And yeah, I just sit down and play the beat. I don't listen to music.
So your songs are like documentary, like they're about you.
They're a glimpse into my life, absolutely. Like this new record is called "I'm Done, Bring It Back." That's the album, and and it's a picture of me when I was 4 years old. You know what I mean? And basically, what it's saying is like I'm done with a lot of this whack music that's going around, and I'm bringing it back with authentic West Coast music. You know, that they're used to hearing from me, and I think all my supporters for the past 30 years appreciate that I kept it what they're used to.
Yeah, this do we have any other questions in the chat? Okay. The new record I love because it is just super shadow.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, I got the best production. I got you know, I really sat down and wrote about what I was feeling, which is about the rap game, and a lot of the, you know, them rappers that think got skills and don't got skills.
You channeled that OG shadow though
Yeah.
on this new
Oh,
project.
definitely, because that's what the people have been waiting for. I haven't had a real record release for my English listeners since I dropped ABM, All About Me, which was in 2012.
I've been getting hit up. People are seeing shadow billboards everywhere. And
Oh yeah.
so what's the
Yeah.
deal with that? You got a nice billboard campaign going?
Yeah, you know, that's my manager in Flossie. You know, we have billboards in LA in front of SpaceX. We're on Wilshire Boulevard. We're in Las Vegas on the Strip. We're in Reno, Atlanta, Chicago. Yeah, I mean, the list goes on. We even got one in San Diego off the 94 freeway between Lemon Grove and downtown. Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's like 10 of them.
Being OG San Diego's finest, I'm gonna be out there in a couple weeks. What is Shadow's favorite spot to eat? Like where are my must go spots to eat? Yeah.
It depends what you want because there's so much
Okay,
variety.
give me like what's your favorite? Your boy's over there grinning like he knows what's the must go spot.
Yeah, cause the taco shop that Uno likes right there in Sherman, and right in his neighborhood.
What's it called?
I think it's called Adalberto's. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adalberto's?
All right, little one ain't brought me there yet. So
What?
yeah.
What's the order at Adalberto's look like? What does it sound like?
It's a carne asada burrito
Oh, okay.
with only guacamole and cheese and extra guacamole
Okay, let's go.
and some rolled tacos.
Let's go.
Yeah, you got fire rolled tacos, but there's a lot of those like Humberto's in Shelltown. That's crazy good, and marisco places. I mean, you got a bunch of them, but
I'm all about a good cocktail de camarón.
oh yeah.
Yes.
You know what's funny? The best cocktails that I've tasted where I live is out of my ice cream truck. My ice cream man makes food on the side and he sells ice cream, but he also calls me and says, "Hey, I made cocktails. I made ceviche." Fire. Yeah, shout out to my ice cream man.
You're gonna have to have him make me one when I'm out there in a couple weeks.
He's had them too.
They're fire.
Fire.
Ice cream man needs an Instagram handle.
And he uses the big shrimp, not the little shrimp. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
cool. And he uses his sauce is probably like the shrimp water. He doesn't
It
just
is.
put
Yeah, he uses the shrimp water. And then he makes capuchanos with octopus. He makes.
I don't like the octopus. I don't like the
Okay, so
texture
check
of
this
the
out then.
octopus,
Okay, let me.
dude. Like,
so check this out.
And then the,
I'll tell you what
the
the people do. I'll
aftertaste,
tell you what the people do wrong.
Okay,
So people go cheap and they buy the male octopus, which is rubbery. The texture's
got
chewy.
it.
So my ice cream man uses a female octopus.
I didn't even
and
know that
it's
was a
so
thing.
tender.
The bitches keep it soft.
It's more tender than the shrimp.
Oh,
Like it's literally, like
but the smell of it too. I
no,
don't
it doesn't. It doesn't smell
know.
cool.
So you can
have to
only
try it.
if you the girl puss is better.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
It's tender. It's tender. It's
Oh my
I mean,
god.
we're talking about the girl octopus,
OMG.
right?
yeah. No, it's tender. He knows how to cook it.
Yeah.
And man, his ceviche too. It's man. He's just
Hooked me up with the good. He hooked me up with cocaine. Hooked me up with puss.
Oh,
like
man.
I'm all in the game now. Okay, you're not getting out of this easy, because you brought up little one. Let's talk about you and little one, because you guys, your relationship runs much deeper than just the music,
yeah.
and people don't know that. And it's something little one is very, very proud of every time he speaks on.
Yeah. So he's not only is he my brother, but he's my youngest daughter's godfather. Him and Nidal baptized my daughter. Yeah. So
It's familia.
yeah. You know, and it's crazy because because we go back. I met Uno when I was 13. I'm 46. You know, it's a long relationship that we've had, and we had good times, bad times, ups and downs, but the love's always there. And we may not see each other for months, you know, but we see each other and then we pick up where we left off. And Night Owl, oh man, that was crazy because he was not in the greatest shape when he showed up to the baptism, but he pushed and he got there for my daughter, and I'll always be grateful for that.
How long before he passed was that?
Maybe 5 or 6 months.
I didn't even realize that. So what were those last months like with Night Owl? Like how did,
I mean, we would talk
Was it a-
every single day. We would talk. He would call me every single day.
so you knew he was going, like you guys?
No, he died from COVID. It just hit him all of a sudden. He was so deathly afraid of COVID. He would tell me, "It was dog. If I get that, I'm gonna die. I'm so scared." So he wouldn't leave his house. And then when it hit him and he went into the hospital, it was just all bad. And you know, one thing led to a double pneumonia, and then he went into cardiac arrest. They brought him back. Then his organs were failing, and once he went into hospice, I knew he was gonna go.
Was that in the middle of quarantine? Do you remember?
No, it wasn't. It was already, but COVID was still around.
Got it.
Yeah.
So we were already out of
We
quarantine.
were
and
outside.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, it was messed up, and I got that phone call at like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, that he passed at 4.
Okay, well, what I do know is in my time, at some point, I need a Shadow and Little One reunion. So you just have to promise me that at some point.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that's what I want. And thank you for sharing those stories. And I think that's important too, because people don't realize how deep you and Little are as family. And
Man, me and Una got stories, man.
Yeah.
From reckless ones to happy ones. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean.
he told the story, which just blew my mind, of his brother. I didn't know that.
yeah.
I had never heard that story
Yeah.
on our last sit down. And I just,
Yeah, that was crazy, man.
because I'd asked him, I said, like, I was talking about your point of when you stopped drinking. And I said, what is that moment? What was that moment for you? And at first he really was like, I'm not sure. And then he told that story. And I was like, yeah, that's a moment.
Yeah. Yeah, it was sad, man.
How do you feel about his growth? Like Little One's growth? Like, is it a trip to see? I mean, it's got to be a trip
Absolutely.
for you, because it's like,
Absolutely, man. Just just to see his faith grow and
his spirituality, like,
yeah, and he speaks more on now he speaks more on faith than your inner self and everything. Like it's more faith based, and I'm 1,000% with that. You know what I mean? Like that's my daily routine. I get up, I read my devotional, I pray, and then I read the Bible.
do you pray at night too, every night?
Yeah, I pray, and when I lay down, I just close my eyes and I say my little prayer and go to bed. But my routine, that's my routine every day. I wake
I'm
up,
so proud of you guys.
read my devotional, pray, and I read my Bible.
The fathers you are now, the men of God you are now. Like,
Yeah.
if you told me this 25 years ago, I would have been like, yeah, right, fool. Yeah, right.
You're
So
wrong, fool.
That's why.
Like-
That's why I have so much hope now for you guys helping and for like these younger cats. Like I'll watch them and like honestly they're wilding out mentally more than you guys were more active. For them it's more substance issues. I mean,
Right.
you guys were drinking way too much.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I was driving around with a bottle of 1800.
yeah.
Yeah. And I stopped drinking at 21.
You stopped drinking
I
at 20.
stopped drinking.
Oh,
at
you
20.
didn't hear
Did you
this?
start?
Did you hear the story of
Well,
how he stopped
when
drinking?
I was 13, I was drunk when I was driving with Night Owl. So
Oh, that was when you were 13.
Yeah,
I didn't
he
realize
couldn't
that you were that
drive.
little.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
couldn't see. Have you heard the story of what made him stop drinking?
No.
Yeah.
Why don't you share it with her?
So the night we had a show at Universal Walk.
Universal City Walk,
Okay.
bougie.
Yeah.
It was a show
Wait, how old were you? 21?
21.
Yeah, sorry.
Hennessy sponsored it.
Yeah, Hennessy sponsored
Yeah.
it. I was drinking out the bottle.
We were. I was gargling out
Yeah.
the bottle.
And
I can't even picture you drinking dark liquor.
I know.
like
I don't
that,
even.
But what?
Oh, she said she can't picture me drinking dark liquor.
I can't.
Fools
Oh,
don't know.
she
Fools
was-
don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, this one don't know.
How do you think she got the sponsorship?
I'm about to find out. Let me find out. Damn, she had it in her blood.
Now we've got Alka water
Alka.
sponsorships. This is how we
Now
get
we
down
clean.
now. We clean now.
So
Yeah,
you're at the
so-
Universal City Walk.
I got so drunk that I just, and it would happen to me every time I would get that drunk. But this time I was with Koolaid and other people, and the person that I was, I disliked it so much. It made me act and say things that I shouldn't have, to the people that were the downest with me, Koolaid being one of them. And I didn't like that person I turned into, so I just stopped cold turkey. I said, you know what, I'm cool.
He said some things, but it was just, it was the homie drank too much, and I knew that. But
I can feel that right here
but what
without you saying what you said.
but I think what stopped him too was that even though he said what he said,
Yeah.
I still was chasing him, trying to protect him.
And then she got hit with was it pepper ball?
Yeah, with pepper bullets by Universal City Walk
Thought you were a
Security.
Oh no.
And then we came home. Everybody was real quiet. He fell asleep on the couch and took the train back, and we didn't talk till a couple years ago, or till a year ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize we
that's
had.
what made me feel more like shit. Excuse my language, but that she still took me home, brought me here,
Yeah.
and I still laid on her couch. Woke up and they still took me to the train station so I can go back home. And it was just crazy. I was like, I would have left your ass right there. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna. It ain't gonna go down like that. And then I'm still gonna take care of you. And
But we had so much history together and so
Yeah.
much growth, and now to see and to know, honestly, I would do it all over again
And
in
if I never
order to
said
see
it,
that being the
and
change.
if I never said it, I'm sorry. I apologize for that.
You said it last time,
Okay.
and honestly, the changes you made in your life, to me, is bigger than an apology, and that's what I think that. Number one, when we can own our stories, which I think a lot of people have trouble owning truth
Yeah.
and being able to talk about truth. I love that we can talk about truth. So the ownership of it and also the change.
I'm a whole different person.
That's awesome.
Lean into the mic a little more for me. Get a little more your mic a little more up. Yeah. So again, proud of you for those changes. Are you crying on me, baby? She gets so sensitive. That's
Emotional.
my baby. I love it. She cares. She cares about people, and she's.
I do, because it's like I'm like, even for me, I'm like, oh my god, you guys been without talking for so long.
Yeah, it was.
But then
a long
seeing you
time.
guys like even just offering an apology, and after so long, and the growth, and like I can already.
I never stop representing him. Even after that, because
You're
believed
like
in
my
him.
twin sometimes, girl.
know,
Oh my
I know.
goodness.
That's why we roll. She's the social media version of me. She's to the young social media, the young influencers, what I am to the young West Coast rap scene. So,
okay.
I'm not as cool.
no, you're pretty damn
Koolaid's
cool.
Behind the
pretty cool.
scenes.
You're pretty damn cool. Well, Shadow, what else do we have to look forward to?
I mean, the video, the album drop. You know, we'll have the video dropping on the 17th. Single drop today. Album drops September 26th.
Album release party. We're
Yeah.
gonna do
Yeah,
it
we're
big.
going.
Yeah.
No honey.
Yeah,
And,
time.
yeah,
it's gonna be in Hollywood. We're gonna shut a club down
nice.
and do it big.
Yeah, and shout out the big homie Maui, because he's really
Oh man, you know, without Gary's a blessing to me, man, and I can never get tired of telling him thank you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's 1,000% behind my back, got my back, and it's someone I can trust. I don't trust a lot of people, but
Yeah.
I trust him. And
well, and I love the story too, that it was, I mean, really Gary was a true fan of our culture.
yeah,
And, you know, him inviting you out to his birthday party in Maui, here you are like, okay, you going to bring all the homies to Maui? And okay, we going to go to Maui. We going to perform for your birthday.
yeah,
And then him really investing not only in the scene, but investing to educating and helping you guys do what's, because he's such a stellar businessman and
yeah.
not being scared to get into new business, you know. So I got a lot of love for
I mean,
Gary.
Yeah, I mean, from, you know, like I said, the team that I have right now is crazy. You know, they really, really elevated my game. Every single one of them, from Gary to Flossie to Kathy to Carla and even my attorney, who's now got my back. You know what I'm saying? Like, Gary makes sure that we cover every base. You know, and it was crazy the way that we met, and we you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, he reached out and he wanted me to perform for him, just for him and like 10 of his friends, you know, and he shut up a place down and we did that. So, and after that we just became really good friends, and then the idea was tossed around about an album, and he was like, bro, let's just do it. I was like, all right, you know, if you really want to do it, let's, but if we're going to do it right though, you know, it has to be organic, it has to be authentic, and it's going to be me and
it's
you.
got to have Ice Cube album out today.
Speaking of Ice Cube, I have a question on the chat.
All
They
right.
want to know who is like the dream artist collab. If you haven't already had it, who is that?
So, honestly, I mean, Cube was a big bucket list, just because of, you know, his whole
Swag.
legacy and, you know, everything. Just
He is the West Coast.
and
you
it's,
think
yeah,
about
and just, I mean, there's a lot of ties with the Cube.
Yeah.
You know, like Jerry Heller worked for a label that I almost signed to, and
Hitalick killed it back in the days.
Yeah, Hitalick.
We had fun. That was the label, right? You're referring to.
yeah, shout out to
So Jerry
Pablito
Heller,
and-
yeah, shouts out to Pablito. For the not
Yeah.
knowers, Jerry Heller, for some of my youngsters, you should know that though from the movie, was a big part of, was Eazy-E's backbone in legal and
Yeah.
a big part of NWA. And then he had went on during part of our era to open up a record label with
Yeah.
Pablito called Hitalick. And I still think the G Fellas, the Nino Brown, Slow Pain was the hardest shit on the planet.
Man,
Like,
shout out to my boy Nino Brown.
can we talk about that?
That's my dude.
Can
man.
we bring Nino Brown back out? Can you come back out next week and can we
Yeah.
work on some records with
What's
Nino?
Next week.
Oh, you got the album release. So we're gonna have.
No, album releases the following week.
Okay, cool. We need to get Nino
I'm
back
looking
in
at
the
the calendar.
studio.
I'm like,
I
we're
want to get.
Yeah.
That's what I want to document. I want to get Nino back in the studio because to me, he's one of the greatest MCs we have.
He was growing up and starting to heal people from LA like Slow Pain and Nino Brown and what was that other dude? It was one other one, man. I can't remember. He went off and did rock. You remember his name?
Stop it and yeah, keep going, but keep talking, and it's gonna come to me. ALT. You're
ALT.
talking about ALT.
Oh, the Saint.
Yeah,
Yes. Shout out
ALT
to
the
my
Saint
bros,
is
the Saint.
sick.
That was my dog. Him and Nino Brown, man. They were so dope.
Yeah.
They were so underrated. You know, Nino, we just vibed off each other. You know, he had his own style, I had mine, and he liked working with me, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And
He's a real one.
yeah, he sure is. He'll tell you the story. I didn't know him. I've never met him, but somehow, some way, I got his address and I pulled up to his house and he was like, "How'd you get my address?"
Somebody told me that story. You just validated that story.
Yeah.
You came and you knocked on the door because you were
Yeah.
trying to do a record.
He came out
Somebody
in-
told me that story.
And
A
he came out
little
in his Raider-
birdie.
he came out in his Raider jersey and I was like, "What's
Mm-hmm.
up?" "I'm Shadow, bro." He's like, "What?" like, I know who you are, but how'd you get my address? I was like, I don't trip. But yeah.
What you mean don't trip?
I got people that know people.
That's a real story.
It is.
Shouts
I
out
forgot
to
where
my
it was.
boy.
I forgot where it
told me
was.
that story like 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, no, are
that
you
was a
for
true
real?
story,
You,
yes.
yeah, okay.
That's a true story.
He was
man.
there. He witnessed it.
I have a
Yeah.
question for the independent artists that are
Okay.
watching.
Shoot it.
How do you go about selecting the right team? Because you just shouted out your whole team like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
How do you know these are the right people that to be in your corner?
Well, just from their resumes, you know what I mean? Like who they've worked for and who they represent, and what they've done. You know.
And for you, like, look at, it's not always music what they've done for you. You just got a stellar businessman
Right.
who stepped into your life, and sometimes it's not
I
what
just-
you
I
choose.
I
Sometimes
pointed
it
'em-
chooses you.
I pointed them at the the right direction, like,
Yes.
like with Flossie, for example.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to my boy Flossie. I forgot to mention him. He's part of my team. He's the one responsible for all my billboards in New York, Atlanta, everywhere. You know, and he's responsible for my getting my publishing and my royalties all situated and corrected. But it's just, and sometimes it's hard to trust people. Actually, it is hard to trust people.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to your business, because I mean, one thing Corrupt told me and taught me a long time ago when I met him, he told me that I'm a walking franchise. And that's true, because my craft makes money. So I always thought about that, and I really thought about who I was gonna trust, and that's why I was always by myself. I never really, took somebody in and be like, "Dog, you're gonna be my manager," and this and that. You know what I mean? And just knowing Gary's business model and knowing how he overthinks things, and which is a plus, because you know what I'm saying. Even if we find out later, like, okay, we're good. You know what I mean? But he's learning as much as I am. You know what I mean? And he's been doing a great job. And he found our publicist, and he got in contact with this Carla from Monarch, which is doing all my social media and digital distribution, and then Flossie has a lot of connections too, and he knows about contracts. He has contracts that we've gotten for features and whatever, and then we just brought aboard our attorney, who's been in the game for like 30 years, 27 years or something, Chris Brown. No, it's not the singer. But yeah, it's just about and me and Gary, we talk a lot, and he knows that if he trusted somebody, then I trust him, and if I trust somebody, he trusts him.
Yeah.
And we trust each other's word, and we know that.
Okay, I'm gonna flip the script on
14.
you before we go. If you had one wish for your children, especially in the times we're living in, what would it be?
To establish a really, really, really close relationship with our Lord. That's because after that, everything just falls into place. So that would be, if I die tomorrow, I would want that for every one of my children, and all my stepkids too. You know what I'm saying? Because I want the best for them, and what's better than that?
How do you feel about raising brown children in the time we live in right now?
It's not the easiest with social media and everything, but if they have questions, I like to answer them to the best of my ability, because like my older kids, Gio and Gigi, they were with me one time when they were like 3 and 5, and I took them to KFC to get them some food, and when we pulled out, I was driving a nice car, and I was in a tank top, shaved head, and the cop pulled me over for no reason, and my kid started to cry, and I was like, "It's okay, baby. Everything's gonna be okay," because I knew I didn't have nothing on my record, and everything was cool. And he just pulled me over because I had a better car than him, and I had a big old chain, and this would probably thought I was dealing drugs or something, So when I rolled down the window, I said, "How you doing, officer? What was your purpose for pulling me over?" I just needed to check you out, and make sure everything's all right. I said, well, why wouldn't it be all right? I just brought my kids to get some food. I turned my blinker on. I didn't run a red light or anything. I said, are you just profiling me, or are you mad because I drive a better car than you? And I see your license, and he just ignored everything I asked him, and I gave him. And when he brought my stuff back, I was like, so what'd you find? And he was like, you have a good day, sir. So I drove off, and I told my kids, I was like, this isn't going to happen to you guys. I'm going to make sure of that. I'm going to make sure that they don't profile you, that they don't look at you and say, oh, he's a gangbanger or this and that. Like, I'm going to make sure that you guys live as good as you can. So, and I feel so bad. I choked up because my daughter was crying. And it sucked that they had to experience that because of me. Like, it's not their fault that their dad looked the way he did or whatever,
But now, how does it feel?
And I apologized to them 1,000 times, and they didn't know why I was apologizing. They didn't know what profiling it was, and to this day, it's one of those things that I think back. And yeah, me and my kids would laugh about it now, but it still sucks that they had to go through that because of me,
You keep saying because of you, and I just want to say, like, it's not because of you. It's because of the system.
Yeah.
Well,
and
Well, but here's the thing, though. There was a difference in choices that you guys made, and that you put we put ourselves out there and you got put yourself out there with a certain image. But what worries me now for your kids, for my kids, is they don't need to carry that image to be harassed. They just need to be brown.
Right. Yeah.
And you are sitting here telling me that and I know how well you directed your kids away from the mistakes you made or what you did, or to live a different life. How does it just as a parent, for me, it scares me for my friends' parents, like the fact that I've got to be scared for your parents now.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, that's the world we're living in. And, again, all we can do is pray for better days, because it doesn't seem to be getting any better. It just seems to be getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, you can be somebody living well and successful, and you just get that one day where these fools are out raiding places and looking for people for no reason.
Racial profiling is now legal, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, because we're supposed to be the best country in the world, land of the home, and the land of the free and the brave, right?
Mm-hmm.
How can you be brave when you have to watch your back from the people that are supposed to be protecting you? Doesn't make sense, right? So all I can tell people is, I don't care what religion you are, man, just establish a relationship with God. Every question you have, the answer's in that good book. I think, the Bible.
That's all I can hope for at this point. What I hope for is that, like, we're being brought into such dark to be brought into the light that everybody deserves to be in.
Like, on our way here, we got pulled over.
That was crazy.
7 cop cars in Pasadena. And they kept
driving under being Mexican.
They kept pressing my stepson because of the tattoos.
Oh, so that's your stepson?
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, youngster? I didn't know that. You guys didn't tell me that walking in. I didn't know that was fam. Let's go.
Yeah.
Getting pressed for tattoos in 2025 and in LA is insane, by the way.
But we just didn't. And it was crazy because it was like 1 or 2 white cops and the rest were Mexican, but they were acting like.
Why did they tell you guys that it was a blinker situation?
Which was a lie.
With your homeboy who's gonna be going to Italy for chilling for a couple months, who like is super cultured producer, and you guys are getting pulled over and sweat like.
Yeah, And we told them.
What was the validation for them calling out so many cars? Were there that many cars there?
No, it was one car, and all of a sudden there were 7 cop cars, and there was like 5 fools pulling each one of us out of the car, and you know, they thought they had something, but they didn't. And it's just crazy that we were in a bougie part of LA, and they saw us pull out of that. We just pulled over to Target to take a leak. Seriously, that's what we did. And as soon as we bent that corner and we were about to head to the freeway, I look in the rearview mirror on the side and I said, "Hey, dog, we're getting pulled over." And he was like, "What?" It was so here we go, and you know, they try to search the car, but none of us are fourth waiver, none of us are nothing. So my boy was like, "Nah, what's your reason? Like those are my belongings. That's my stuff. You can't just look through my car." You know, and they were still like flashing their lights and looking, and they didn't move stuff because we didn't give them the consent to do so, but they searched us, and you know, they
with your water bottles, your ice chest full, your ice chest full of Alka water.
That's exactly what I had. I had my ice chest full of Alka. You know what I mean?
It's like, hey, Popo, we ain't got enough for all 7 cars, but a couple of y'all want to. You should have viraled that moment. Here, Alka water.
It was crazy. And one of the cops, I know he's a fan of mine, man, but because when I told him, he's like, "Oh, you're going to a podcast," and I told him Koolaid, you know, and he's like, "Koolaid?" Like, yeah. And at the end, he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna look you up on Spotify right now." I said, "Cool." And we just dropped Certified G's with Ice Cube and cocaine. and we took off.
Drops the mic and
yeah, man, but it's crazy. I mean, you can't even just drive through a neighborhood without getting harassed. And
but that's the beauty is now I've got the shadow on the couch that can drive through the neighborhood, get pulled over by 7 units, and be like,
insane.
"Peace, this is, you know, I'm with God now. Like you can't get me for nothing." Like because before that call would have been much different to me. It would have been like, "Damn, we ain't got a guest tonight."
I had Gary on speaker because I was talking to him as we were getting pulled over. I was like, "Bro, we're getting pulled over," and then Gary's like, "Don't just keep me on the phone." And I was like, "Cool." So I kept him on speaker, and yeah, I was talking to him up to the point where they told me, "Oh, can you step out the car, please?" And I don't know why they pulled us out of the car to begin with, because he could have told everything that he told him. He could have said from the window.
Yeah,
there was no reason to pull us out.
Yeah,
but yeah, they didn't get nothing.
Well, I'm glad that Popo didn't get you guys, and you made it, and I look forward to you and your trip to abroad. You lucky dude. And I heard you're going out there to chill with him in Italy too. That's pretty sick.
We're going to Maui in November though.
What's in I'm gonna go with you guys.
Let's go.
Okay, cool. I'm going to
visit Gary.
Gary's been telling me come out to Maui. I'm gonna go in November with you.
We're going with the church, but
even better. Of course, I want to go.
Let's go.
Let's go. That's viral.
November 9th through the 14th.
That's what we should be covering. We should be covering you with the church in Maui. Like that's the stuff.
Because we have our congregation at home, and then we have one in Maui.
Okay.
A church that's growing over there.
Let's go. I'm so down. We going to church, big homie. It's my boy, Mr. Shadow. You can run, but you can't hide from Shadow. You know how we do. Your homegirl, Koolaid, holding it down. Any shout outs before we go, Shadow?
Just shout out to the whole team. Of course, my family, my kids, my wife, my mom. You know, shout out to, like I said, the whole team. Gary, Kathy, Carla, Mr. Brown, Flossie, my brother Uno, you know, my boy Wise Guy, Mikey that's right here with us.
Hey, let's do it a little different tonight. Take me out with a prayer.
All right. Yeah.
God, that's
cool. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to arrive here without getting locked up, hemmed up by the Pasadena police. Thank you for allowing us to fellowship and talk about my career, about my personal life. Thank you for allowing me to be able to express my feelings about my faith. Thank you for Koolaid. Thank you for Echo. Thank you for everybody here that made this possible. Thank you for everybody that tuned in. I hope that you bless every single one that tuned in, even those that didn't tune in. God bless all my followers, all my supporters. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And don't ever forget there's no wrong or right way to talk to God. Just talk.
Just talk. He's listening.
All right.
That was
Thank you,
beautiful.
Echo.
Thank you.